One. Roll 'em. Okay, so I am back. This is the for real, the final time for today. And it is for our Thanksgiving question. I'm taking my cousin's advice. He said I should stay on for a good 20 minutes in order to get the people to respond. And so this is the question posed in the Infini magazine, on Infini magazine. And to be honest with you, I used to always wonder why, when you watch a live video and you see everyone be speaking, and you're like, okay, when they gonna start talking? But I see now, because I had to get my cousin Roosevelt Glass. He gave me a tip. And so let's see how this tip works. And not to mention, I think a lot of people are coming in from work. But it is a holiday. It's Veterans Day. Also, happy Veterans Day to all of the veterans out there. So I'm going to do as he's saying, kind of wait around. I did get a chance I noticed that more people actually responded to my very first live response to the question that was asked. So I am prepared to read those. My daughter put it on a nice little text message that's like a font size 42. And so I'm going to read those. Again, while we're waiting, there's no right or wrong answer. It's everyone's own opinion. So, everyone does things differently. So I just want to kind of see how everyone feels about it. So the first question, and I'm going to put the question out, and then I'm going to speak to everyone, because I think that's what I'm supposed to do next. But the question is, if you are hosting Thanksgiving dinner, if you are hosting, do you expect your guests to bring something? That's the first question. If you are hosting Thanksgiving dinner, do you expect your guests to bring something? And then the second question is, if you are visiting, do you bring something? When you go visit on Thanksgiving, do you bring something, or do you just come? Just show up, just come as you are, without asking anything. So that's the topic for today. I'm going to read some that I already had, and then I'm going to, hey, cuz Tina, I'm going to try to see if I can, again, like I said, I have my glasses, so 20 minutes is a long time for me. 20 minutes, but I have to get everyone's thoughts and opinions. So let's see, Tina. Okay, so Tina, while I'm waiting, because I did have some responses from Anissa and Thea and Beverly and Roosevelt, and I had about 8 people. So I'm going to ask, and let me know what you think. If you're hosting Thanksgiving dinner, if you're cooking, and you invite your family, your friends, or whoever, whether you invite them or they just show up, do you expect them to bring something? And that's the question. And then if you go visiting, do you bring something? That's the other part of the question. And another thing that came up was, we were saying, what are some things to bring? Because, on one hand, and we were talking about this earlier, on one hand, some people don't want someone to bring something else, another type of a dish or anything to kind of throw off their Thanksgiving food vibe. But then on the other hand, someone will accept, someone else bringing a dish. So I guess it all depends on what type of, how you're doing Thanksgiving. I had suggested, my friend Amber, she has suggested maybe bringing some wine or some sparkling champagne, especially for those who don't drink. Sometimes it's good, like, a lot of kids may be there, and sometimes it's good to bring some, things for the kids, some juice. I had recommended bringing mints. And I thought about that because I was thinking about chitterlings. Because some people eat chitterlings on Thanksgiving. And so that could be something else good to do. And that got a good response. And a couple of people said it was a good idea to bring mint. So if someone is eating Thanksgiving, and then they're eating chitlins or any type of Then some people put onions in their dishes and their greens. So a mince is something good to bring. So we want to hear what everyone else may think. I did get a chance to hear back from some more. And I'm going to switch hands because my arm gets sore. And this is going to be a part of the magazine article. Okay, so let me see. I think it looks like Tina responded. So let me put my trifocals on, y'all. This is actually fun. It's actually something that I need to do. Okay, Tina says. Okay, so Tina says yes. Bring some water or a pop or wine. Okay, so that's cool. Bring some. That's a good idea. That's a good idea, Tina. Bring water, pop, or wine. Because you can never really run out of waters. And you can really never run out of pop. And wine, too. So that's a good idea. Okay, let's see who else. We have Michael Mims. I'm going to expand it first. Because, I have this vision thing going on. So, okay, Michael Mims says, if I'm hosting Thanksgiving dinner, no, it's not my expectation that anyone bring anything other than those who have offered in the initial planning. If someone is just stopping by and want to bring dessert or wine, then they are welcome to do so. You absolutely may not bring chitterlings. You can't bring chitterlings. I was saying that too. I was saying that like when I was growing up in my household. And excuse the video shaking. In my household, I just remember all my life, my childhood and my young adult life, my mother would actually prepare chitterlings. And oh my God, I was just saying we like running in rooms and closing doors and things like that. And our house had a kitchen. It had a little slide door where you can kind of slide the door. We like slide the door, but she'll be up all night long preparing that Thanksgiving dinner. And so I'm going to see, let's see. Yeah, we was cooking, we was going in there. Oh my God, it smells so bad. So I think the mince is something good to bring if you want to bring something, or if someone, but I get what you're saying, Michael. Sometimes you may, depending on who you may be co-hosting Thanksgiving. And then at that point, yes, it should be delegate who's going to bring what. But if someone just, pops over, then I get what you're saying. Let's see. Yes. So, and I was also saying that, a lot of times when my mom and dad, when they hosted Thanksgiving, it would be a ton of us. Well, we had a big family anyway. It was 8 of us. So my mom, dad, and we were like the Brady Bunch, 3 boys and 3 girls. And then our family started growing, of course, with marriage and children coming on board. And then we also had both sides of the family. We had my mom, my I don't really remember my grandparents come. I know my dad's mom came for Thanksgiving, but we would have, our aunties and uncles, and they'll bring their kids, and no one was turned away. Regardless, and I don't even think back then anyone even bought anything on. My mother and father wasn't even expecting anyone to do that, but things have changed and people do things differently. Especially nowadays, things are done a little bit different. So, but I want to speak to everyone who is watching. Hello. And now I am going to read, and while you guys are putting your comments down, and I'll go back to the question again. The question is on Thanksgiving. If you're hosting Thanksgiving dinner, do you expect your guests to bring something? And the reason why this came up is in the Infini magazine on page 29. And we did like a little Thanksgiving spread because it will be, the Thanksgiving falls this month. And those were the 2 questions that was asked. And I thought about those questions actually because over the past few years, I started seeing posts about, uh, don't go empty handed and different things like that. And it was like a moment to me, like, oh my God, because I just growing up, I mean, I did bring something. I did bring something a couple of times, but I just didn't know that, okay, this is something that you should do. But I did bring a cheesecake one time, and I think I bought something a time before. But of course, like if my sisters and if we got together and did something, I contributed somehow. It was probably just like some deviled eggs and or taco dip because I used to get kicked out of the kitchen when I was growing up. So, but we would come together for that. But the question of hosting it and say, I'm having Thanksgiving. Anyone, if you want to come by, you come by. But if that conversation never comes up, and I actually see people, and if you don't know, now's a good time to say, hey, okay, maybe I should bring something. Or some people may be like, well, no, but maybe just asking, do you need me to bring something? When you have an invite, but some people don't care. So I'm going to put these trifocals on so I can read some of my earlier comments. And let's see. Of course, they're like small. Hold on. He did say 20 minutes, so I don't think I've had you on here this long. So, okay, Sharita says, I always host Thanksgiving dinner and invite anybody that wants to come. My family normally will say, I will send you money. And you cook whatever. Friends normally will come and just show up with something. That's the first time I've heard of that, of offering money. But hey, money is good to help towards the ingredients that you need to prepare the dish. So let's see who else that we had to weigh in. Roosevelt Glass says, okay, well, bear with me, guys. I don't see that good. Oh, I think that was, okay. He says, Roosevelt Glass Jr. says, if I'm hosting, I don't expect them to bring anything, but it's always welcome. And if I'm invited, I would probably bring something. And so he's saying, but it's always welcome. I got to find out from him, is the people always welcome, or they're always welcome to bring something if they want to? So that's that one. And let's see. Beverly says, if I was hosting, you just come. If I was invited out and asked to bring something. So she will ask, okay, if she's invited, she'll ask, should she bring something? And then now Thea says, my opinion is you should bring a dish even if someone else is hosting, especially if it's not just one person. Oftentimes people are invited and will bring a plus one or two. I was saying 3 or 4. And maybe the host was not expecting extra people. Okay, so that's a good point. It's always better to have too much than not enough for your guests. My opinion is to bring a dish. Okay, so that's a good point to make, because sometimes when there's a Thanksgiving and you may have only prepared for a certain amount of people, or you do your head count and you have 10, and then someone comes and they bring 3 people or 4 people with them, and you're like, oh God, I didn't prepare enough for that. Let's see, I'm sorry, just trying to check and see, I didn't prepare enough for that. So that's a good point to make. Let's see who else said something. I had mentioned Amber's earlier today. There was one from Anissa. I'm trying to find that one. Okay, Anissa. Anissa says, sometimes the host becomes the host by default. That's true. They may just have the space for the family to gather to be together. It can be rough on one person to provide everything depending on the family size. I'd offer to bring something or just bring something anyway, just to add to whatever they provided. Now, party is different, she says. If I'm invited to a party, I wouldn't feel obligated to bring anything because if you're celebrating yourself, you made that decision. You made that decision. But I'd probably still take something, though, because that's just me. So, and you were raised very well. So those are some of the from earlier that I uh, didn't get a chance to read. And so Anissa is basically saying that, sometimes everyone may just assume that you're hosting Thanksgiving because you have the space, the home, or what have you, and then everyone comes there um, to to celebrate Thanksgiving together, and it can be overwhelming for one person. I know because in my household, what was overwhelming was the aftermath of dishes, and our dishes used to be stacked up to the ceiling in multiple rows, and so that was so it can be where you have a ton of people that may come, whether you expect them or not, and those are all valid reason. Like I said, there's no right or wrong answer. There's no right or wrong answer. Um, I think that it should be where, I mean, you should, if you're invited, or if you're invited, or a lot of times we don't be officially invited. We just invite ourselves, and when that happens, bring something. What are some things that you can bring? Something, what are some things that me personally, I wouldn't bring a dish unless I was told to. And like I said, like if my sisters and I or my siblings, we're getting together to do something, I wouldn't bring, unless they tell me to bring a dish. Um, Unless that's the case, I'll bring bring some actual food and stuff. But if I'm just going to, a friend's house or just going visiting, um, there's some things that I would prefer to bring, like water, like Tina said, bring some water, bring some juice for the kids. A lot of times kids waste pops. And so, or bring like the little miniature ones, or bring some mints, or bring some wine, a plant. I don't know. But what else? Let's see who we have. Let's see. Okay, Yatina said she would just bring a water pop, wine, or a dish. And let's see, Markeisha. Oh, I gotta put my glasses on. I'm trying to do this the old fashioned way. I can't see. Markeisha says, I was raised if you go to someone's house, don't go empty handed. And I'm glad you brought up empty handed because I was kind of feeling like, I didn't want anyone to feel, I didn't know if that was like negative, but that's what I would see. Don't show up empty handed, don't come empty handed. But with some people it is considered, empty handed where I mean I kind of get it where, there are some people who don't think about, I shouldn't come empty handed. A lot of people don't think that way, and they may show up unexpected. They may show up with a bunch of people, to come on. So that's a good thing. That's to be raised that way. That's great, to say, hey, don't show up at people's house for Thanksgiving empty handed. So I guess I can say empty handed. I felt bad saying empty handed, but that's what it is. At some point, that's what it could be, empty handed. So, but at the same time, if we don't have these type of discussions, we won't know. I don't know if I was to bring some things, and I don't even remember. I know I did bring some things before. Like I said, I bought a big cheesecake one time. That's all I can remember. All I can remember is that big cheesecake. But I'm sure there were times that, and I guess too, I think it depends on the closeness of the family. Like, if it's your mom and dad, if this is your home that you grew up in, I got to switch arms again. If if this was the home that you grew up in, or extended family, in-laws, and things like that. And so I guess that is like, something to think about. Anyone else want to weigh in? Anyone else wants to weigh in? So we had you all have really helped me, giving me some great things for this article. So when our writer writes this article, thank you so much for participating in it. And like I said, everyone who commented name is going into a drawing. Everyone who comments. Now I can't tell if you're watching or if you watch later, but if your name is in that comment and you made a comment, we're gonna put you in a drawing, and before this night is over, we're going to find out who won the prize, who won. So if you made your comment, you're automatically in the drawing. And since we want some activity, some dialogue on this, this is a valid conversation. And so again, I think I might have been on here 20 minutes by now. I'm not sure, but I'm going to ask that question one more time, just in case more people want to chime in. The question is, as the Thanksgiving holiday is coming up, there's two questions. The first question is, if you're hosting Thanksgiving dinner, if you're hosting and you invite your guests or people who may just show up, do you expect them to bring something? If you're hosting Thanksgiving, if you're the one cooking a Thanksgiving dinner, it's at your house or what have you, do you expect your guests, whether they're invited or they just show up, do you expect them to bring something? And then the other question is, if you're visiting for Thanksgiving, do you bring something? Or do you ask, should you bring something? Or do you just show up? Or as Markeisha said, you just come empty-handed. So I'm going to be on here for a few more minutes. So if anyone else wants to chime in, and again, like I said, for some of us that may show up empty-handed, sometimes we don't think about it. I'm saying we because I'm including myself in bringing something in and not bringing something, because I don't want anybody to feel bad. But is it something that because back in the days we just all just showed up wherever where the dinner was being cooked. And I do remember, like I said, my parents, they cooked big dinners, Thanksgiving dinners, every Thanksgiving. I think that was my mother's favorite holiday, because that was a chance to break bread with everybody, her family. So it was her children, it was 8 of us, and they pull out that dining room table and slap that extension in the middle, throw on the tablecloth, and she had a special china for it. And then our family grew with marriage and children, and even before then we had our aunts and uncles, our grandparents came, their kids, and we had to start, the grandkids came, we had to put an extra table on the side of the big table. And so that was like, we really look forward to it. And like I said earlier, if you were the only thing that my parents, I don't ever recall them saying, hey, bring something. I don't even recall anyone bringing anything. But that was like, in the 70s, 80s, early part of the 90s. Things have changed. But one thing we did say, if you come, please get here at 4 o'clock. Because we wouldn't eat all day looking forward to my mom's Thanksgiving dinner. We wouldn't eat all day. Oh, my battery is about to die. But we wouldn't eat we wouldn't eat anything. We might sample a rolls that my mother made. She made these rolls, and she would make them even for some of her neighbors and stuff. So, but the only thing that we asked for everyone to do is get there at 4 o'clock so we can eat, because we wanted to be able to eat at 4 o'clock. And we waited all day so we can get a chance to eat. So, and then if someone asks, if someone wants to bring something, what are some things that they can bring? We said earlier, sparkling champagne for those who don't drink, wine. You can probably bring beer, bring some condiments, bring some hot sauce. I said bring some mints for the chitlins. Or the onions that's in the greens. And bring some mints. Bring some chewing gum. Just not a pack of chewing gum, but a bulk. They sell the big pack or the bulk of chewing gum. Or bringing the big bags of mints and just have them set out. What do you bring to the table? Or do you have to bring something? Or do your guests have to bring something to the table? Or just bring themselves? You might just want them, you're hosting, you may just want them to come and bring themselves. Some people might be offended if you bring a store bought dessert and from scratch their cakes and their pies and sweet potato pies and things like that. So I guess it all depends. But I do think that a good idea for those like me who don't really cook like that, like with my sisters, if they were to say, well, we're going to get together and have Thanksgiving, what's your cash app? I'll give a cash app because I can cook deviled eggs as far as Thanksgiving. I could cook, but for as far as Thanksgiving, deviled eggs, and I'm going to sneak in a taco dip. That's not really part of our menu, but I would do that. And of course, pops and water and all the things that my cousin Tina said to bring. But I think that's a good idea. Sharita said that. I think that's a good idea for those who, or you may be too busy to cook something or to contribute, to bring a dish, and cash app. So with that being said, everybody start getting you some cash apps because you just never know when you might get some. Hear that thing go off and stuff. So make sure you sign up and get you a cash app. But that's a great idea. I think that's another great idea for those who can't bring anything, or like with me, I can't even see well enough to cook now, and bring so cash app, or like I said, bring some candies or some mints or different things like that. Okay. Well, I want to thank you all so very much. I think I've been on here for 20 minutes. Thank you, my cousin, for giving me that tip and advice, and I was able to get more participation. And I'm going to do one more live tonight, and that's actually the drawing. Everyone who commented, name is going into the drawing, and you will win a gift from Infini magazine. Okay, so everyone, winner don't have to be present. You don't have to be on. I'm going to tag the winner anyway. So it would be nice for you to tune in, join these lives, and nobody watching. It can be like, kind of discouraging. But anyway, and probably when I come off of here, I'll probably see even more comments, I think, maybe. I don't know, Facebook. It's kind of funny with this thing. But anyone and any and everyone who made their comment, you're going to be entered into the drawing, and we're going to pull one name, and then you'll get a chance to learn what you won and how to claim your prize. Okay? So everyone, enjoy the evening. If you're in Chicago, stay warm with all that snow out there. If you're in California, oh, I envy you. Okay. See you guys later. Bye-bye.